What's up, everybody? I have no idea what we're doing tonight, but we just ate a fat steak. Drake's behind the the
It's a computer.
the computer, but you have we got a new light, we got a fake light, we got all this other stuff, but we got the boys in from Ohio, Wisconsin, right?
Ah, yes.
Right. So this is the Brackett Show, and
Kind of legacy Acres Land Companies.
we're gonna do a
inclusion into the land of
co-op,
Lincoln.
right?
Yep.
So it's all about land tonight. This is the Brackett Show, but we also call it Full Metal Bracket. What do you think of Full Metal Bracket? Because Jared loves it. So the reason my agent came up with it way back in the day at Kaplan Staller in Beverly Hills and everything, and she said, we need to come up with a show called Full Metal Bracket and whatever. And I've always put it on the back burner, but I really thought it was like too arrogant, this and that. But now as an old man, Jared's like, listen to nobody has that opportunity. That's an incredible opportunity. It's a great name for a show. It's your hot take on dang near everything on the planet. You need to go with Full Metal Bracket. I said, well, I'll compromise. We'll do the Bracket Show, but the type of show that we'll do is a Full Metal Bracket Show, which is where we just shoot it up live, have a couple different cameras as we get that one thing working, and then have different guests. And then there'll be other things that I really like, just like the land life stuff and get into Whitetail Equity stuff. And so I think there's sub fun brands underneath Bracket Show. And, because you could do Arrowfliction, you could do Fear No Evil, you can do Full Metal Bracket, but you know what style you like. And I don't know if this one's going to be the call-in version, but I know the land life call-in version, like kind of live action during the rut, was very successful during the hunting season. So Full Metal Bracket tonight down here in the basement, just kicking it. We got a bunch of new sheds from this year, and then we went with the purple, and we got Wolverine with the headphones on, and we have Wes, David, and the man, the myth, the legend. No, go ahead.
Just a myth at this point.
Yeah.
Tyler.
Introduce yourself, Tyler, because you own and run a very unique, what I think unique and very fascinating land business that you're not doing really what I believe anyone else is doing. Your web of where you're at, from growing up in like West Virginia,
Yep,
through Ohio, through Indiana, and we were talking about Wisconsin, and now you're in Illinois.
Yep.
We're looking at properties here, and you had a lease, and Brad was selling the lease today that was a landowner, and just like the most intriguing, wild things that anyone can imagine that goes around land to the maximum level is what you're doing. And I am busy, really focused with my wife and Herman Brothers and projects and investing stuff. I would love to do the exciting side of what you're going to talk about and tell me more about. But my plate is full as an old man, really focused in on the 3 or 4 development properties that I'm doing personally. Finally, that's been my dream. I've been using other people's money, making them rich. Now I'm trying to make myself rich, but I'm only going to spend it on land anyway. So I'll make myself land rich, but poor. But I'm not as diversified or as educated as you are in some very unique, unique takeaways of working the deal to have the end goal be very successful for the landowner and yourself, and then the buyer, which I want to know a lot about. But I was fascinated with watching Jared, Jeremy, and you talk for 3 hours. And I have never really got to a place that I sat and watched 3 hours and was like, I want to be in that room. And that's a big compliment to want to be in that room, because I know Jeremy was fascinated. Jared wanted to know like the basis kind of guts of everything. And I'm sitting over there going like, the 4 of us in a room thinking on the levels we were thinking, and then going like, what would the 4 of us want to do?
Probably something illegal. Probably would be. I mean, it'd be fun, but it might not be fully legal.
It would be fun, but 4 people would want 4 different things in that room. Jeremy's got the kids, you got the kids, me and Jared don't, and Jared's young enough to be my son. And it's like, but me and Jared are more diehard killers and you just said something to me earlier is like, I want to be that. I want to do that in the next 5 years, but you've been making a way so you can do that.
Yeah.
And so I like the 4 different dynamics. So what is the title? Because I don't want to get it wrong. I don't watch a lot of your stuff, but it is in my algorithm daily, and that is David.
You have David.
That is all David.
Yes,
and sometimes I'm like, he is wound up all the time. Who does he remind me of? He reminds me of a younger version of myself running around the camera, all wound up, whatever. I'm like, if I can ever rein this guy in, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get more white hairs in his beard, and he's gonna get like very focused and then look out. And right now, dude, you guys are doing some really cool stuff. But tell me the brand.
Yep.
And the short version of your mission statement of what you're doing, if anybody doesn't know. Because if they know me, they either know Arrow Affliction, Fear No Evil, poacher, convicted poacher that yells at his cameraman, redeemed by the Lord, doing God's work now to where I have my full purpose and I'm completely healed. Without my parents and direction is without question. I know this isn't my home. I know where I'm going, and I know who I'm trying to take with me. It's guys like Drake. It's like this 22-year-old over here. Yeah. And then guys that I'm like, they got something. Let me help polish them. I know what I'm doing. I know my life's work, but very focused. Or, you know, they may go, I just know him as a land guy that knows how to dang pant miscanthus and switchgrass better than anybody on the planet, you know, and kill big deer. Like, so there's different characters that they know me for. But you're pretty solidified in what you love and what you're doing and how your podcast and your branding pops up on the socials. So tell us about the brand, and then go through it.
I appreciate that. I mean, it's crazy to even hear that. You would think we're dialed and polished. It means a lot to even hear that, just because I very much think.
Did I say you were polished? No,
well, I mean, it just
that's David, right?
We're very much building.
We're getting there.
And I am saying that I think polished in the word you're saying, which is fun to kind of talk like this, is to say like your energy is more like Gary V, get it out there kind of feeling, and take it from there. And so that's kind of what I mean is like not to be scared to put it out there.
Yep.
But it's good quality, and you're not just like now throwing up one camera and having the 4 of us and pulling a mic off the thing and putting it up. That's your style too.
Yep.
And in the field and whatever. And
I mean, you know, just what comes to mind for.
But the business seemed polished. That's what you're saying. I feel that the business is polished, even if you're behind the scenes going like, I don't know what to do sometimes. Feels more polished to what I'm doing. I don't even have a website, and I have enough going on, so I can't imagine.
That's kind of a flex, though. So don't discredit it.
Well, dude, I've been fortunate. I've been blessed. I've been on the scene for a long time. I've done it. I've whatever. And if somebody's calling me, they got a reason they're calling. They're calling because they want the deer dead and they want the ultimate. They want the ultimate ride. Where you're at is, I feel that you're everything from a PA guy coming to Ohio to coming out to Illinois is almost like we were saying earlier, like, I don't know what to do with my hands, Ricky Bobby,
but I'll still do it.
But I'm in. Let's race. Let's race.
I mean,
so what's the name of the company?
Legacy Acres Land Company. And you know, I always say, like, I feel like that word legacy, it's overstated a lot. And I really soul searched for a while when I knew kind of like I have this ethos that God's put on my heart of like, what do I want to do?
Now you're like Trump Jr. Ethos. Tell my dumb butt what ethos means.
So I would say it. Let's get spiritual for a second. For me, ethos is a yearning. I have a yearning in my heart where I want to say something. I want to create something through a business that can help pass on a legacy. When I think of like, I was basically raised in the outdoors by my grandpa.
Yeah. So you want something connected barefoot in the grass, in the dirt, organically holding you to something is what ethos would be in your definition and how I'm taking that.
Yeah. I mean, when I think of
Organic, for
legacy
sure.
and like what is the pass down, all of the fondest memories that I have as like a little boy, and those things that, and I've heard you talk
True.
about this on other podcasts. These are these defining moments that are in your life that shape who you are. All of those defining moments that I can think of as a little boy, they all were centered around dirt in some aspect. They were centered around hunting,
Amen,
outdoors, whatever. They were always on dirt. And so I struggled with, do I name a company Legacy Acres Land Company? Do I say legacy because it's just, I think it's a really saturated term and I don't like it.
I'm gonna clean that up because
for it.
I like to look at it from weird spots. Here's why I would guess that you would go with legacy. I don't have children. I don't leave a legacy except for, is Drake going to take it all over and fish my lake out here and catch all my bluegill with my nephews? Like, I don't have a legacy to live. I don't care about anything except for my Lord. People knowing that I gave my life to Christ and was changed. And people think it's like, oh, well, he got in trouble for poaching. No, my show was Fear No Evil for a reason. I was scared to fly. The only verse I knew was Fear No Evil. And I would repeat it while I was scared to fly all of this country to be a superstar. I believe that you were probably drawn to legacy because you have 3 beautiful children.
I do.
And to leave them something that you're building, I know why you get up in the morning. You get up in the morning because your wife's at home with the kids, you told me, and that you're like, I want to build a legacy. I want to do it with men. I want to build something. And I would say that's why you're drawn to legacy. Is that the ethos of it?
Well,
did I use that right?
Yeah, that word, like it, it sounds like super sexy, but for me,
what was a buzzword? Like they did have that show. That's why I said Trump Jr. was like, they did have like I'm watching Outdoor Channel. It's like ethos, the outdoors. You're like,
yeah,
okay,
ethos is vernacular for sure.
Yeah,
I heard somebody even say this like last week. It's not so much about what you leave with someone, but what you leave in someone. And we talked about this earlier at dinner. Like, I'm getting to a stage where I care as much about making sure, like someone like Wes, as a young man that can watch the things that I'm doing and watch the mistakes that I've made and learn from them, that we talked about this, the ride time in a truck, I'd rather coach them, teach them, and mentor them through watching from a firsthand basis, front windshield basis, how to be in the trenches, how to just journey, and that it's not pretty, and that it's ugly, and it's really tiring, and it's really relentless. But you have to possess grit, and God gifted us as men. He wants us all to be leaders. He wants us to lead our households. He wants us to lead our families, friend groups.
But the dynamic here, right? Like the dynamic that the people don't know that I only found out 10 minutes ago while my wife's upstairs or cooking steaks and talking or whatever, is that Wes is youngster riding around doing fun stuff, kind of like Drake, and just kind of learning. He's got a family at home or whatever, but kind of sorting things out, which is what you do at 22. 6. I said 32, but you're 36. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. But you don't have the great dude. 40 years old, my beard went white. Now, it might have been the feds at my door that turned it white, but it turned white like that. David, you believe in the Legacy Acres movement and said, hey, man, you're doing this. I don't want you to do it alone. And because when he said, like, I want to make sure that I'm mentoring somebody like David or whatever. He didn't use, I'm not putting word in his mouth, but the feeling I got was, I'm breaking down these doors. I'd love David to storm them with me.
Yeah, I think me and Tyler, our relationship is more of a build together relationship than a mentoring one. Like I'm at that stage in my career where I had been somewhere for 10 years.
Well, you're looking to find the 10X button.
100%.
And he is definitely onto it because I know what real estate has done for me, having a mind to it, to not concentrate on 16 things, but to concentrate on like 2 things,
right?
And then watch that even micro in the last couple months, the business I've done by focusing just on this and being able to say no. You're looking for the 10X button for your family and wife to be able to support you like mine does mine. We're just that much older, 10 years older, 12 years older. It's like, that's the dream.
Right.
Get up in the morning, fight, have coffee, whatever. Like,
what
I
kind
get
of fight.
Oh, if you weren't fighting while you're married, you guys are about married.
Like wrestling,
yeah.
though, you mean like?
I mean, I'll wrestle my
Right.
wife. She's
That's what I
pretty
was gonna
hot.
say.
But I will wake up in the morning and be like, what are you doing? And she'll be in her pajamas till like 10. And I'm like, we have a list. Because women just don't, bro, we just don't have like, guys have that weight that we carry of things.
Gotta get done.
Yeah. And my wife some days will just check out and I'm like, yo, we got stuff to do.
Yeah.
So that's our fight in the morning. And I'm like, I should leave. By the time I get back, you'll be ready to go. But you're looking for that 10X button from what you've been doing to team up with him, whether it's land investments, whether it's the media side. There's so many.
Yeah.
When you're hanging around 4 people, you're the 5th of what you're doing, and scalability and money and real estate and investment, holding land, nothing in land goes down. If I put in switchgrass, if I put in switchgrass, I can harvest it, dude, and give it to the barnyard, and they need bedding. My miscanthus, same way. You can chop. I don't know of anything in the real estate side with wildlife, with the good stuff putting into it, that is a bad investment. So you're trying to 10X, partnering up with this guy.
Right.
And so when you're talking about that, that's what you mean is like, I want to lead the charge. And what is like the mission statement with Legacy Acres? Like, is it one home run? I know the answer. Is it one home run? Is it a bunch of base hits? Is it the legacy? At the end of the day, staying up since 3:30 this morning, driving across here, making things happen, meeting new people we've never met, shook hands, broke bread until this evening. Is it about those stories and that legacy and those connections with men over that dirt swapping? Or I know for a fact that your dopamine button and your connection is when you meet that landowner that's like, I'll sell it, but is there more? And you love to show them, hey, I can hit your goal and at the same time watch what we do here. Yep. And they get a kick out of it.
Yeah. And I mean, I always tell sellers, like, it may surprise them, but real estate for me is as beneficial to understand what they are trying to accomplish as the seller as it is for me ever to transact on the deal. Number one, I always say the deal will never happen if we are not going to mutually benefit. It will never close. It never does. It's not. And so I said the thing that I love about putting together these deals is they're always mutually beneficial, or they won't close. Everyone gets to win at the table. And if there's realtors involved or title companies, attorneys, everybody at the table gets to win when a deal gets put together. But the thing that I have just realized in all these real estate transactions that I've done that's the most fulfilling to me really is I like seeing people's difficult chapters in their lives. And because a lot of times the deals that I'm buying, someone's motivated to sell for some reason, or there's some kind of distress for some reason. It's pretty rare that we're buying
either
something.
Downsize or
it's pretty rare there's no emotional distress one way or the other. It's pretty rare that it's just a cool hand Luke deal and we're all just exchanging money.
If it's their third farm, they're like, man, just make sure I get 800,000. But if it's your main thing, or the thing your father left you, or you got great memories, or whatever's tied to you, there's some kind of emotion with letting it go. And where's the juice worth the squeeze? And where's the splitting hairs? And hey, as long as you get me this, I'll be cool. But man, I'd like to take the timber off of it. My daddy always said that we had 50 grand worth of walnuts. Can we pull those walnuts first? And you're like, yep. And it only make the cover better.
Yep.
But I think you like the wading through it. I know that pretty lady upstairs loves the human dynamic to it.
I love the art of the deal. I love the deal.
You love the art of the deal. Yeah. I hate it.
And there's a lot of people like that. And a lot of people that are who I would consider great friends of mine in real estate and outside of that have zero interest in the acquisition process.
Yeah.
And you said it earlier, but I love to turn stones. I love to turn stones. I am a sucker for a deal. I love to to find that next deal. I
But
love
there
the
are,
chase.
but but it is not one-sided. I have just as many people that have to get a deal.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I would rather buy it over market and leave
just
you
get it over with
30 seconds and go make that extra money.
I always tell people jokingly, but it actually works really well. I tell any seller or anybody I'm working with, I am allergic to paying retail. I'm allergic to it.
Dude, I got friends and clients like that. Well, the last one that Kirk made like a lot of money on, he looked at me and goes, "Do we ever buy anything under appraisal?" And I'm like, not if I see it. Not if it's 170 acres and I see it's zoned here and here and I can split it and I can work the deal and whatever and I can do my after things and build the equity in it. And I'm like, no, we just buy it. Just close it.
And that's the thing that we might go off on a sidebar here, but it's the thing that I tell my team that I like about commercial real estate a lot is that for me, I find with commercial real estate, it's not as emotional. The seller wants what they want. Typically, their asking price is predicated on, well, this is because the neighbor got X, or this is what this is worth, or this is what it's worth, or what. And I love usually, and this is the fun one, people get on to us because we'll take farm ground and convert it to higher density or residential or whatever. The farmer already knows what it's worth and they want X for it. And the reason they want X is because someone else got X. And the X that they got was because that last person rezoned it for apartments or whatever they did.
Well,
but it's not emotional. I tell them all the time, if I can pay you X for your property, if I can pay you that price, it means because I can do things with it. I can increase the density or I can change the positioning. So I'm happy to pay you that because it means I can do something. So I tell them day one, this is not emotional, that we don't have to get emotional about the price. I think we can do it. Whereas, the recreational farms, there's kind of more of there's an art to it. At least for me, there's an art of, I'm going to go in and try and force appreciation by what we're doing here. And you have Chris has coined way cooler words, Whitetail Equity. And it's it's a beautiful thing that you do because it is real. You force appreciation into that property. It's niche, but it's specific to whitetails and land and habitat. If I'm going to have to go in and do that, and that's how I'm going to make my money on recreational land, great. That's one way. But I just always like to buy a recreational piece a little bit under what retail is. So I have the safety to know if I've got to exit this thing quick, I can still make some money. With commercial land, I'm like,
you say, wait, hold on a second. When you say commercial, are you talking about outside of Columbus or something that you can split down? Like, I didn't even know you did that. I don't really know.
We don't do a ton, but it's more of an aspirational. We have a 3-tier recreational land is like 80% of what we do right now. Hunting farms.
Okay. This is the part I'm gonna big brother you.
Yeah.
Slow it down, baby.
We've done like
care
commercial deals.
I care about what you're saying.
Yeah.
You don't have to skim over it.
Yeah.
And anyone listening, they're here and listening because they want to hear what you say. Me being mastered the TV and did this and the wars or whatever, you'll watch me change my tone of what I'm saying and presentation. Because my wife talks fast and she talks for her to get it out. Yeah. And I love that woman and I want to hear what she has to say, but she doesn't get that because she's wired to get it out because she doesn't know if she'll forget it. I want to know what you're saying.
Sure.
So if you slow that down for me, commercial real estate is not the big deal, but when it happens, you're saying, perfect example. One of my best buddies on the planet. I talk to him about every day. Him and his boys and his wife. Shout out to the Corbins up there. They are in like Plano, Illinois. Data centers going up. Neighborhoods. I was just talking to him today. He's got his kids running around feeding the pigs in their underwear. Yep. Henry's jumping in the pig pen, whatever, but there's millions of cars going by, and him as a farmer and a landowner knows that if that property sells, it's going to sell for about a bajillion dollars,
way more than farm ground price.
Then he's like, the dream is like, well, where do we buy next? Because one day they're going to develop this, and he's going to have to cash out. but the homes are old that where he's at, and he's just kind of hanging on. He's like, I would love to be. He's been telling me to come to this house forever. He's like, you're gonna love it, but he loves the old farmer lifestyle. So you'll do things like that.
So we have. So in today's 26 and 24, we actually put 2 commercial, what I would have called commercial deals under contract, where we contracted the property. We had 6 months due diligence on both of these properties, where we were going to do feasibility studies, traffic studies, soil study, every study that you can think of, because the long-term goal, and again, this is all predicated on, hey, the seller wants X. They want X. That's what they want, and they'll sell. But X is only going to be substantiated if we can bring this thing into some new zoning. And
there's the word.
There's entitlement is the cool word that people talk about, getting re-entitled, getting the property re-entitled to some kind of new zoning class.
Let me break that down for anyone listening that's going, all right, I'm cool with, I like learning anything real estate. Example, today and this week, my partner, bought a piece of property for $7,500 an acre as a large chunk. Property was split by a road. One was ag 1, 25 acres or more. Or I think this one happened to be 20 acres or more. So we split off 22, the best of the deer hunting, sold the ag off, gave it an access, had an easement. One day it's going to make an amazing house when the road goes through. Sold the ag to a guy wanting to hold, needed the building. He's got a great investment. He's getting at rate he bought it for, whatever. He's probably getting a 5% return for as long as he wants to hold it. Ground continues to go up at the same time, 7%, 10% as the ground appreciates, and then has that. But at the same time, right on the other side of the road is R1 zoning, acre and a half in Tazewell County. So I went, okay, what Jackie Workman at Tazewell County, working with her, zoning, and said, what is the easiest that I don't need any inspections for septics and whatever? And they said 7 acres. That's the magic number. And I went, cool. Can I split 7 acres as many as I want? As long as you have 60-foot road frontage. I was like, 60-foot road frontage and 7 acres. That's what I need.
Sometimes they'll allow shared driveways, and you get into these nuances of each county and township. And
every one of them is different. So if you're ever in a rabbit hole and you want to do cool stuff, go educate yourself.
County engineer.
Go talk to engineers. Go talk to. So that's,
and they're usually super helpful. Like, it's intimidating to go ask, but
they're normally doing a boring job, and they got into that job to serve people, but people most of the time don't come in, so they're just fielding stuff anyway. So they're actually, Jackie Workman, I know, is absolutely she loves Jody, but she's entertained with my crazy ideas. We're like, what's he doing now? Oh, he could do that. He could make a neighborhood there if he wanted. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to develop it.
Right.
But the 7 acre thing, I got to make, on year 2 of having my real estate license, I got to develop Whitetail Ridge, name it. What do you want to name the subdivision, Chris Brackett? And you're like, I don't know. Whitetail Ridge sounds pretty freaking good. And
I thought for a second.
I thought for a second I went legacy, but then no, it didn't have the ether, guys. It just didn't have the ether. And then so I went like 7 acre increments and made my own. Sold all of them. Have 15 an acre for 7 acres, and so made myself money. Made my owner, or my, what you would just call him, a buyer, investor, whatever. He made quite a bit.
Yep.
And then and then splitting off the tillable, it was, I want to say 100 acres or what. It was $1 million straight up, and it was $5,000 more an acre. And so like we killed it on that thing, and I made my percentage and I made my development percentage, and those things are different, but they're not all like that. But I think if somebody was listening to us talk about real estate, why they would hire Chris Brackett, real estate consultant and real estate broker in Illinois, to represent them as a seller or a buyer, would be because of all the things we're talking about.
Correct.
And the reason that they would want to work with somebody like you, they were like, I don't I don't really want to re-educate myself on all this stuff. So I'll just sell it to Tyler boys. I'll just let them do all the fun stuff. And I just want to make my money, but I want to watch what they're going to do with it.
Yeah. Well, and I immediately gravitate to, in that scenario, seller financing components, just because.
And this was the part that intrigued me. I've done it, but I did it with my investor buddy where I'm like, dude, if you don't want to wait for this to sell, I'll just buy it for tell me what you want right now. Yeah. And he's like, I'd take this to get out. I'm like, okay, I'll risk the next 6 months and do the work to it. And because I just called Herman's and got an excavator in there, ripped down these trees and made it more presentable as a lot. And then was able to make 10, 15, 20 extra $1,000 on it.
Yep.
And people go like, well, how are you making this extra money? I'm like, well, just get with a real estate professional.
Someone who thinks outside the box. I mean, that's it. There's such a traditional mindset across the country that
you're not going to find me in a sundress showing houses.
I mean,
I'm not doing
pretty cool.
Jody would be pretty cool with that, but I'm not doing it.
I mean, you probably could sell a lot, especially in Columbus. That'd be a good look.
Yeah, that's fair. The other guys, no.
I have heard things about Columbus.
Yeah, seriously, that would count.
Columbus.
Yeah, there's going on for sure, and it's not in the land game. But
no, I believe I would have to call it bear realty.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, I'd be a bear. Yeah,
I mean, it'd be some AI stuff. I think it'd be pretty good.
Yeah,
I can market that. I love talking about creative finance or seller finance, or, I've been able to raise money with private capital investors, those kinds of things. It's just all come from conversations.
So 19 to 20 minutes into this conversation, and someone's listening and going, okay, we got Wes, David, Tyler, Legacy Acres.
Yep.
And if they were listening and they went like, these guys are pretty fascinating, why in the crap would anyone go to your social media or call you, or what service, or why, or why?
Yeah.
Why? Because I don't think people slow a game down to the base level of it that just says, well, why would I want to follow them in 2026? Well, let's hear Wes.
Yeah, man.
The young man that just drives your old butt across the country.
Just a driver, nothing more.
Why did you start following these guys? And what made you want to go like, I want to know more. I want to go on the road. And it's not to just try to help me kill this turkey out behind my house or eat my steaks or meet my pretty wife.
That's funny. I don't mean to flip the script or anything.
No, because you're 22, dude. We want to know what 22s think, because I know what I think. I do things because I'm still scared of my dad, and he's dead. That's why I do things. I'm still scared of him, principal, all my coaches, the counselor that told me that I was going to be nothing. I'm still scared of them. That's what I will work for forever, even though I know that my worth is found in Jesus. But I know on this earth, until I'm dead, I'm dealing with post-traumatic stress from every coach and every Vietnam vet that was my coach and my father that beat me to death. Okay, that's how I grew up. So from a 22-year-old, 21-year-old, why would somebody go, I want to know what these old guys are talking about? I want to own land someday. Do you want, as a 22-year-old, to kill a turkey and a deer on your own land?
Absolutely.
Because most of you, little generation, I don't know what generation you're in, don't want to own any dang thing. He got his new car and he's going to drive that thing all over and got good gas mileage, making good decisions, and work his butt off. And, you're taking chances and raising a family and all this stuff. But we don't know what makes you kids tick. Because the craziest crap that happened in my life was I watched a Challenger explode in 4th grade, and that was traumatizing, and that was like our whole life. You guys flip on your phones, and you can watch people die. You can watch animals doing things. You can watch all of this, the wildest things bigger than our imaginations, and y'all go like, it's a Tuesday. And it's as soon as I wake up to the time you go to bed. So why click on Whitetail Equity? Why click on Aerofliction? Why Legacy Acres? Why? But go ahead, flip your script, say what you're going to say, but then why?
Yeah. Well, I feel, first of all, I know you kind of categorize this as the young kids and we're all the same, but I would say, like, I don't think that probably
You're all the same at the same age. So you do have things that are the same age.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm overstepping and I think I'm different, but I'm really not. I don't know. But I don't think
you
that
can
my
be,
answer is
you can be different.
exactly.
But you are 22, and I am old as shit at 48, and I have a white beard, and you have a nice Fu Manchu goatee, and all real. Okay, so remember, those things are real, and you can be different, and you can make a difference, and so own that. But generationally, 21 and 22. Y'all are 21 and 22. That's a fact. So talk to us from that perspective, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say that my answer to why legacy, or why, how did I get here? Why did I click on this? Or what, why did this opportunity excite me or pique my interest in any way? It's going to be a little bit different than maybe the general population, how I think they would answer it. And it's a little bit of a long story, but I mean, for those that don't know, I moved from like northeastern Ohio to south of Columbus, so about 2 hours from where I'm from to where I'm at now, and just followed that's where my wife's from. We got married last year and moved down there, and it was just kind of what we decided on, right? And in the world of social media, like, for whatever reason, Tyler Markham, Legacy Acres Land Company, is on my suggested followers, like in week 1 of living in the Columbus region. And, I don't have any friends here. It's my wife and her family. Like, it was satisfying, but I didn't, you know what I mean? And so,
well, you did it right, man. The first kudos I got for you is get married young. I told you up the kitchen. Amen. Get married young, have as much sex as you want, have as much sex as possible. God loves it. Bam. You get a beautiful wife. You covet your marriage, and you love life. And the cool part is everything else will be gravy, honestly. And that would be me talking to a 22-year-old version of myself. So, like, kudos to that, because now you can do anything. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big deal, especially buying land or going hunting or whatever. Like, if you marry the right one and you're connected vertical to the Lord, she's gonna root for you to go hunting. She's gonna make time with your kid for you to go hunting. Mine's the first person I call. Now, she may have to put on makeup and do whatever and ruin my recovery because Drake has to wait her to get ready, and I'm over there with a bad leg trying to get a 165-inch deer in the back of my truck by myself because I got to make the Christmas party. Happened right after the live. But her intention was pure, which is most wives. Their intentions are pure. And so you just, once you moved, you were like, what am I going to do with my life?
Right. And I mean, I worked corporate sales and worked remote. So, that I wasn't really in a spot where I was like, I need to find something to do. Right. I mean, I did that for 6 or 8 months or whatever after I moved there. But going back to what I previously stated, like, Tyler Markham popped on my Facebook, and I am only a Facebook user.
David got it.
I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on Snapchat. I'm not on TikTok. I'm a Facebook user, which, again, that goes against all things, that general 22-year-olds would say, right?
My Facebook's my strong side, but I don't even hardly do it.
And I told these guys earlier, the only time I'm on Facebook is Marketplace on the toilet. So it's not even like
what was the most recent?
He shops for a long time.
What did he buy? What's the most recent buy?
Oh, I don't even know. What would my most recent buy be? I
know mine was a disc that's sitting outside by the tractor, hooked up to the tractor.
I'm kind of a window shopper, and I like to send things to my boss and be like, hey, you should buy this.
You should buy this. Hey, you should buy this. I almost sent one to you today. I was like, yo, you could buy your brother the exact old school OG Columbia outfit with the bibs and the jacket, just like I gave you. I gave him one. I'm like, dude, listen, you gotta wear this. But when you would click on it, is it because you want to know more about land?
I'll be honest. Originally, no. Originally, it was just a Tyler West thing. It wasn't a West's career in Legacy Acres.
Was it because he was doing one of his land wild men?
No, seriously. In all seriousness,
The excitement? Was it the excitement?
I was in a place, and I still am to this day, but I was in a place in my spiritual journey where the most overwhelming thing, being in a new region, being without, blood brothers that I grew up with, those kinds of things, was I don't have any spiritual partners, right? Like I have my wife, and my wife and I love the Lord. We seek the Lord every day. Like, you know what I mean? I have that partner, but there's just something different. I mean, we all know it about a guy-to-guy relationship and spiritual talk, even, to go a step further.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron.
I just came across Tyler's profile, and I'm just at this point.
So
maybe I'm on the toilet. I don't know.
So you didn't even know. You didn't even know the lands.
I had no idea this dude owned his own company in real estate until he posted that he had a job opportunity, and I was like, dude, this would be sweet.
You can back off that mic because he's even louder than me. You're good. You're good though. You're right there. You're good.
I'm
right
passionate.
there.
I'm passionate.
No, it's good. We just don't want it to spike, freak everybody out. So you didn't even know he had land or anything, like land or a company. You all just met as Facebook friends, local to Columbus.
His outward evangelistic, just outreach. And
Where'd that come from?
Me?
So is that on your personal page? Or
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
On your
I mean, Wes.
Was that in your seeking time?
No.
Dude, I've tried
a couple years, 5 years, 6 years.
No, I've been in the Columbus region since July of 25.
Okay,
so I was there in 23.
8 months, 9 months.
So was that in your seeking phase? So how did you get from flipping houses? Well, and where I was going with that question is that if Drake had never seen him wound up doing his exploring the land and talking passionately about whatever, and David's putting it on the internet, I know that if somebody went, why would you watch me? Well, I can tell you that when the mushrooms are popping, you know instantly what's happening in the Midwest, in land, in hunting, in killing, whatever's going on. The content that I'm putting out is as close to live as possible, even when I film live. So I find a purpose for Whitetail Equity is that what's happening now, if you're not paying attention, I may say like, listen, dude, full moon 30.3 across the Midwest. Y'all need to be in a tree. That was why somebody would follow my content. Now all of a sudden you might get educated between food, fish, mushrooms, deer, elk, opportunity of buying land, education here, how to plant switchgrass. You need a consult, shooting. You never know with my stuff, but with his stuff. So you met friend wise, and then you didn't even know you wanted to get into land.
No, I mean, I was kind of on a weird roller coaster with my last job of just, hey, this is a good opportunity for a young individual like me.
Yeah.
Let's ride it out.
You like land? You like land now?
Here. Yeah, I love land, and I've always been attached to dirt. Like, I've grown up in the outdoors. It's hunting has always been my number one passion.
Yeah,
and really, frankly, kind of my only passion. Right? I mean, I was a baseball player, and that was probably a close second. But yeah, I mean, I've always been around dirt. My dad has always sought to own his own ground, just never has. And obviously now with this opportunity, like I feel like I'm in a good place to help. You're going to learn a lot, but yeah, I've always wanted to own my own dirt. It's always been my dream, but I never knew that this would be the way that I'd get there.
Well, most people do have no idea to get started. I was one of those people. I would have quit being famous a long time ago if I would have knew that real estate was just unbelievable to get into. And I remember for a year and a half, 2 years, I'm like, how do you buy your first? Everybody's like, you got to buy your first piece. You got to buy your first piece. You got to buy your first piece. No idea how to buy my first piece. You got to find a bag of money off the coast of Miami, dude, floating in the river, floating in the ocean to, do that first one. But it was a group of Christian men wanted $5,000 to get in. All of us throw it in and buy it as a team. And I didn't even have the $5,000, and I had to work that $5,000 off doing the labor because I had a tractor and I had the knowledge to do that. So that was my buy-in for the first piece that I ever did. And then I realized real quick that me and a couple of the other guys were the kind of the main guys. I was like, I need less people on this, otherwise I can't make money. And then so far, and it's wild how when you develop the knowledge, the investors come and they're like, yo, dude, if you can make me more than these other guys at my money, place or whatever are making me, I'll buy whatever you want. And then so like, what is your dream job? What is your dream as you got to travel to Illinois? You see some of this stuff, you see the land, you hear the talk. You just kind of see the lifestyle. Where do you see yourself going? Real estate license, or just on the developmental side, putting in the food plots and making the dreams a reality out of the dirt? Or like, what is it?
That's funny. And I told Tyler kind of in the hiring process, like I stumbled upon Midwest Land Group, just a Facebook ad, right? And I'm like, this would be sweet. And I've talked to a guy about it. I'm like, I want to know everything about it. And he's like, well, you got to have your own truck, your own side-by-side, and you got to be able to go 6 months without pay. And I'm like, yeah, that ain't going to work.
Yeah.
Like I just got married. My wife is not exactly, well, they like security. About high risk, high reward.
I was talking to one of my buddies the other day that thinks it's the opposite. He's really into the stock market. Win or lose, he's in it to try to win one day. And I disagree with it on the highest advisement of my wisdom. Everything in my life. And he is absolutely convinced that this is for him. And I'm like, who am I to say not?
Right.
So if this is how you feel, but this is what a reason he wants a wife so bad, and he wants to be loved, and he wants a wife so bad. And I just said to him, the lifestyle that you pick, if it is volatile, and that daily trading is volatile, it does not create a home. It does not create stability. And stability, we know, the four of us know, I don't know, he's pretty skinny still. We know that they would rather take security over a 6-pack abs than wives would rather have security over a 6-pack abs or fast money any day of the week. And that is where the heart is, and that is what is biblical. And when I was bringing this up, I said, man, this is really, for your long-term love life goal of having a wife that you can share your life with, and your son that you have, and travel and have a house on the lake and whatever. And he was just very much like, I see it opposite. I think a woman will rise to that and come. And I go, I don't know a virtuous woman that's worth more than rubies to be into that. I don't know one. And I don't know a man in my circle, a Christian man in any of my circles, that are able to tell him, man, calm, with the Lord, peaceful, building quietly and at a good pace is where the peace comes from. And I just been praying and praying and praying, but I don't know how to do that. So that goes back to like your wife, like, and you're like, well, I feel pulled here to this. I need to explore this. Even if I got to work at McDonald's making my money, I still am going to keep understanding this to at least do the first investment where you could get in on a piece of a deal. Like if you can come up with $5,000, like I did with my buddies, like there was 17 of us, but we bought and sold and did all the work together. And it wasn't for me in the long run. There was too many cooks, but it got my feet wet.
Well, and something, I don't want to derail us, Chris, but when you talk about that, I want to make sure that we can bring into the open something that I know you had to have done in this scenario, which is, I don't have it all figured out.
Don't have
but
it
I'm going to, I'm
still
going to,
don't.
I'm going to walk. I'm still going to take action. I'm going to still take action.
Yep.
And I'm going to, and it seems like in that group, even though there was too many men, which I completely understand, your profit was diluted, but
if I knew if I was doing it full time, I couldn't dabble with all the other group. I would just be their real estate agent because that's my job. So it got diluted to where it was like one deal. I didn't get my cut as the real estate guy that went, and I was volunteering more time because I was a real estate cut plus I was equity partner.
Yep.
And so when I got cut out of a real estate side of the equity partner, the hat I wore as the real estate agent went, this isn't what I signed for. And they're like, no, it's fine. I'm like, I have the contract and the paper of our mission statement, and we're not doing that. And they got mad. And I was like, I'm cashing out. I'm out. I'm just going to do this. You still need me to sell? I'm your guy.
So, but something I want to make sure your listeners hear, and I try and bring this up every time I hear this type of conversation on my own podcast, is you took action. And I'm going to guess when you took action, I'm going to make some assumptions. You didn't have all the data. You hadn't thought about it for 2 years and asked questions for 2 years.
Nope.
You didn't come into it with 7 LLCs and 2 Puerto Rico offshore holding asset companies and a trust fund. You did like what I'm getting at. And it's a joke, but it's not. I see so often people will never do something.
I have 5 people.
They want to know it all first.
They want
to figure it all out first.
I just got 5 people that have money with other investment companies, putting money into stuff they'll never touch. And I go, well, I will never do that. I like to touch my land and my fish and my deer and my trees and I like to do stuff with it. And I know that if I put some effort and blood and sweat and tears, and even if it's me or even if it's Drake, I can trust in myself, put trust in yourself to do it, and know that it may be as easy as planting a few trees or coordinating with the farmer on enrolling it after a year into a CP33 program, putting 30 yards around the outside of the field edge into pollinators and native grasses, and like just being the facilitator to work with the FSA office to put it in this program, and then go Acre Pro and go, or whoever it is, or no, what's Brad's thing? Common Ground.
Yeah.
And put it in there, and then let the farmer take out the emotion and let the farmers bid on it. And instead of 240, get 360 an acre, and all of a sudden you're like, and now you set all that up, and then you go, anybody want to buy this?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as taking.
And somebody goes, I'd love to buy
appreciation. It's the same as any other real estate asset. Oh, we made an apartment complex better, but we renovated the units and increased the rents. You made the ground better and you increase the value by forcing that appreciation.
And my buddy's got the money, and I go, like, I called them up. I called one of my friends, Cody, on this last deal, and I said, my friend Nathan I was talking about or whatever earlier, I called him and I was working through. He goes, listen, dude, you're very favored. The Lord loves you. You're very favored. Why do you got to win this one by yourself? Bring in a partner. And I went, that's great wisdom. And I went, my buddy Cody called me that day, and I went, hey, dude, your house is paid off. You don't have a spot to hunt. Why don't you buy this with me? And he was like, I explained it to him, and he goes, I'm in, seal it. I was like, okay, cool. I know I'm going to have to split 60 to 150,000 bucks on this win because I've done all the legwork, but I wanted him in. And, he's got his house paid off. So he was like, I was like, you'll just use that as equity. We won't do anything down. We'll just do an annual. We'll make this first move. We'll hold this one. We may hold this one for 10 years. We could make $100,000 or $700,000. You want to do it? Called him the next day, and he was like, I'm out for no reason, but just got nervous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's not anything that's a sure thing, but I'd already done the work. It was just didn't. 4 times this year, 4 times in the last 12 months, I have tried to include a friend in my property because I continually feel led to not do it by myself. Have you ever felt like that to where you're like, I know this is a good deal. Like, I don't want to do it by myself because am I being too greedy? Every single time it has gone to like, yep, I think I want to. No, I just can't do the land thing yet. And you're like, okay, but at least I tried. And then I go do it and then build the equity in it. And I've got all the tractors, I've got all the stuff, and then I win. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to cash out and go 1031 that into another piece. But I want to always make sure that I'm open to those. Because if I know if I just get them in one, they're going to 1031 into their own thing and they're going to split off like I did from the group. Like, I feel like that's going to be your 10X is you'll get in kind of even on a low side of a deal or whatever, just even where you're putting up whatever equity you have, even if it's sweat equity you're putting up, even if it's just another guy to help with the strain of the dailies or the monthlies of food plotting. Like, look at the Michigan guy. He just doesn't, I don't have the tractor, I don't have the time, I just want to, so we'll do it together. And I think that's where a group of guys, even to start off to buy a piece that you're selling, you were talking, one of your things was like, I hear all you West Virginia guys talk about a piece just over the border and it's not close enough, whatever, like, just buy it. Dude, like, does it appraise?
Right there is West Virginia. Like,
first
don't
question,
call me.
First question I would ask if you were sitting there thinking, and you're the guy we're talking about, and we're not putting you down because
but
we
Chris,
were there.
All the deer are dead there.
Yeah, we have this big, this EHD kick, and I'm like,
I can tell you some stuff about here. There's an antler on here that's a 3-year-old super mega brow tine in the middle. I just found him, and he's out of the HD that hit Peoria County a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. And these are can you reach that one?
This one?
Yep, big brow, curly. Yep, he's young. He's 3, and he's an unbelievable superstar. He comes from an EHD. He comes from an EHD area right there. And so this is a smoker 3-year-old that's going to just be a Megatron. And he's got everything. I watched them all year, and there's 2 or 3 other ones that the class of animal in an EHD area or where they're gone, if you go in and do the sweat equity, even if it's the cover or leaving it alone for 2 years while you enjoy the build on it, next thing you know, you're creating the preferred habitat with no pressure, and those higher extreme genetics are gonna flourish. Well, and I heard something the other day. So I've been really into ever since I got on Don Higgins' stuff about releasing deer, the orange tag doe got out, the super genetics, whatever. I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna open my fat mouth about this stuff, why don't I get some deer? I want to see them every day. I love them. I watch them. You guys ran off all my deer and my geese and running in circles out in my fields.
We didn't hit them.
Yeah, you didn't hit them. They were in the road. I looked out earlier and they're in the road, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's great. But so going down, exploring that, I went, well, it's only like $250 in Illinois. Why wouldn't I buy some of my own deer and watch them? I tell you that to tell you this about what you said, the EHD, and then we'll get back to it. Here's why. In the research of it, I start hearing about there was this buck out of Gunslinger and big, wide, famous deer. A lot of people have a doe out of, and if they don't know, like the does carry most of the higher genetics, and it's a recessive thing to where they throw the genes, and that just happens. Well, they were talking about this buck out of Gunslinger that was a baller deer, and they bred him so much that they're like, that's going to affect his antlers. And I went, I've never heard this theory before. So if there's any truth to it, I want somebody to write in or talk about it or whatever, or leave a message or want to know about it. But that was the first time I'd ever heard, like, they could breed him so many times that it would
have a
negative effect on his antlers the next year. And I went, well, I'm growing like big deer.
Cattle. I mean, I don't know cattle, but thinking cattle, like they have a life of they take
the bulls have a life span.
I mean, and they're not 20.
So I'm thinking things like, if I'm thinking things like Donger was the buck out here, whatever, and he was 6.5, 7.5 years old, and he's 170 plus inch Megatron. He's out there. And he dropped from that to like 52 and was so healthy, but he ruled the roost here and bred. And like my farm's like a freaking park. The other house was a park. This house is like a park, but that made me start thinking like, oh, well, maybe I could have too many does. But that's a whole nother crazy theory about deer.
I love the EHD reset though.
But the EHD reset was, okay, if a big deer, like some of these hammers, these two 180s or whatever, if these deer are, and even goes back to my park experience, why couldn't I grow a 200, 181, 183, both same year, come back year after my timeout, and
this timeout.
It's as good as it gets. Timeout bucks. And so, but I never could grow a 200-inch deer there. Now, why can't I grow that 200-inch deer? Do I have too many does that are uncontrollable because of the park? Now, this set me off on a wild rabbit chase. The whole this week was like, maybe I got to go on doe patrol if I get this 125 and this 80 back here. Like, if I can isolate them.
You're tying that to if there is too many does, these bucks are stressing to breed these does because that's their genetic.
My locations have not, and they will one day get hit. They've been hit with the HD, but not at the extreme. Because out here, if people don't know where I'm at out here, is a lot of these deer spend 9 months of their year in the crops and out in the ditches, and they're away from everybody. The crops come off October 16th, the 24th. They do their bar crawl. My bucks reset. They're in. Yes, they're my deer, by the way. Yeah. They're mine. They're mine.
Ricky Bobby.
They're my Democrat deer that I feed. Blue. Now, the state of Illinois said that they're not my deer, that they're their deer because the farmers say that they're deer. And I say, I will adopt them. They're my deer on my property. And if my deer are not good enough, let's call them our deer, since I pay taxes in Illinois. But our deer that are here live out in these waterways and these ditches and these cornfields, and then they come in October, and then they stay here, and then they're pretty isolated in this spot. But not being hit with the HD has, I don't know if it's not a cleansing for the genetic potential to explode. If you look at Mel Johnson's buck, 1964, 204, 206 inches. Killed right here about 14 miles that way. There was not a lot of animals then. And I know the year the Mel killed that buck and where he killed it. And that story is a wild one, I'll tell you sometime. But I believe...
Do you know Josh Duncan as well that bought the General, the shed antlers from the General? I've kind of become friends with Josh, and the General story is incredibly similar.
Yep.
Where that was found,
and they found all the sets in a ditch. Yep. There was no deer.
Almost no deer.
So no breeding. Does to breed.
Full genetic potential expressed. No social stress.
100%.
Food galore. 100%. Cover galore. Let's just lack of predation. I mean, let's just.
Well, he was living in a pheasant ditch because they found what's his name? My buddy, Wisconsin shed guy at Reeve. Bluff County Outfitters, Interbo matched them up, and they're genetic matches. And he's a big 6. He's like a big 4-point, and it's the General. As he went downhill, they found him in the same ditch. Anyways, matched them up. Interbo's amazing at what he does, pictures and that. So I believe that the EHD kill in areas like where you have that property. If these guys were to get it and spend 2 years having a great time, still go on their trips, still hunt in PA, still hunt in West Virginia, still hunt wherever. How big is that farm?
So the one, we've got 2 farms in the same county that are catching a lot.
What's the one I saw?
One's 187.
Well, you were like, it's right there. 187.
And a 200-incher was killed on that farm in 2014.
And then what was there was a smaller tract.
I've got a 25 in that same county.
So 25 acres somebody could buy.
Yeah.
What do they pay for 25 acres in what state?
This is southeastern Ohio. This is Meigs County.
Yep.
This thing has a septic on it. It has a county water already, and it has electric already on it.
Yeah.
Gravel pad, so they could do a camper.
Yeah.
That's listed at $169.9 for that 25, and that's probably your top. That's your top end pricing.
But people that are listening that know you're buying smaller acreage, more people can afford it.
Yeah.
So the price does go up. So if you're wanting to be gangster, you buy 120 and you split it into 340s. That's when you that's one day when you'll get gangster. But the first one,
or you build a structure on this 25, like that's the big thing. Or cabin.
Yeah,
you do anything. You set imagine doing a lake and a cabin.
Yeah,
like you can have.
I'm a water freak, and everybody in the Midwest, right here in Illinois, they got to have water. If you got water on it, so if it's got a ditch in it at all, and you could put a half-acre pond and keep trout because it's in southern Ohio, and it's maybe spring, whatever. But it's about making the first step. Even if you bought it and paid
170,
do the quick math on that. Every time I just do it, I'm like, okay, 170. At 170, you're at 15 grand a year.
Maybe.
That's kind of with everything.
You mean on the debt service?
Yep. When you borrow and just pay it, and you're like, hold on a second. So if I went on a trip and if I went on weekends and I didn't between travel ball and whatever, this and that, you can make that $15,000 commitment a year to put into something that you're putting into traveling or doing something. But I don't think people realize that there is a certain level of stewardship and honor and responsibility that is absolutely life-changing, watching your name on a deed on a piece of dirt that I believe is more than just us, that's absolutely spiritual, and then connects not only your own family, but I believe that if you are making the right stewardship type decisions like that, you will almost be blessed with another 15 grand, because even moving here to this house over to that, I've my business by being driven and calm and focused on one thing rather than worry about where I'm going to go on vacation and where I'm going to park my trip. Like, where should we go? No, we're going to go to the land this weekend.
Yeah.
And we're going to plant some apple trees, and we're going to do some little things. All the stuff that I've dreamed of, all the stuff I watched on TikTok, all the stuff, I get to do it right here. And I get to do it for a couple of years. Like, what's that commitment? Not a big deal.
Yeah. And I mean, we've sold properties that, like, it's so funny. This never really registered for me. I don't know why, but we sold a farm very similar to this one that had about a 1 acre pond on it. It was last fall.
Water, dude. Jeremy's one of them. Dude, Jeremy came out here and was catching every crappie off my tree. And then I'm like, listen, dude, if you can just build something that holds water, and the minute October gets here, you put 50 trout in there and feed them pellets, those trout will die. My trout will die in May. But I said, Jeremy, the greatest thing on the planet is for me to walk out here, get in a tree stand, watch deer in the morning, walk back. My 2-pound test GL Loomis is sitting there with my little 2-pound test reel, and I catch 4 or 5 trout, and I put them back, and I come in, I take a nap and eat a sandwich, and then get back up, go catch a trout on the way back out to the stand. Dude, I don't know if there's a better heaven on this earth.
What kind of sandwich was it? That's the only question I would have.
Well, it would just be a regular white butternut bread with 2 slices of bologna.
Okay.
And a little bit of Miracle Whip. Just simple.
Oof.
It ain't nothing more.
Less is more. 10 and 2.
Dude.
10 and 2.
I'm telling you. So I believe that if somebody was to buy a 25 like that, or the big track or whatever, in a county that does not have deer on it right now, or very few deer, the deer that will set up residency and grow will grow 10 times faster than all the population problems that they were occurring before.
Well, and you're talking about all the your term that I love, and I'm stealing, by the way, so you're not allowed to yell at me. Whitetail Equity. We've adopted this. We're
it is what we're all doing.
We're about it in Ohio
and I
now.
can't believe that it wasn't taken.
Well,
When
I've
I go
bought
on
the
a piece of
domain and I'll
dirt,
sell it to you. So if we can talk
I
about
already
that.
own it.
I own the second one, but
.net. Good luck.
But the thing that people get hung up on is the whitetail side. Okay, well,
Yeah.
what we are seeing, and I'm saying that we are starting to see this at a minuscule level, is these heavily affected. There was 3 counties in Ohio that are really heavily affected last fall,
Blasted,
hammered, and what I'm seeing is the prices of these properties not necessarily go down per acre. I'm not seeing them go down. I'm seeing them take longer to sell. I'm seeing them just kind of be
everywhere right now.
Well, here's the thing that I'm trying to get people to understand is let's just just say you don't believe Chris and I that the genetic potential will flourish. Let's just say you dismiss all that. Go for it. It's just like in 2008, the richest real estate investors after 2008 were buying houses and buying real estate for dirt cheaper or with heavily risked
100%.
property. They are the most wealthy now. So tell me again, Mr. Person or people that are scared to buy a property in a county that was affected. Take yourself back to 2020 when COVID hit, 2021. Go try to buy a farm right now. Pretend COVID hit again. Yeah. You couldn't buy anything. You were paying $15,000 over ask. There was a great low interest rate, but you were still paying way over.
Well, the interest rate's going to come again.
No, so you're not holding. You don't have the competition is what I'm getting at. You don't have. Be the smart investor is what I'm trying to, because I'm that guy. Like,
but I'll take
I owned it already, but
I would take it even simpler, even simpler than that. We have no idea when we're checking out of this popsicle stand. Why would you not just buy a piece of dirt that you've always wanted? Because right now, if you're in a county that normally would sell out so fast, why would you not just go buy the property, explore the process of working with, you said Rural One, I've never heard of them, but you said that the other
first,
day.
or Farm Credit.
And we run comp here, and they have made things work for me, and they've made it so simple. And then you're in the game. People got to get in the game.
Well,
if they just get in the game for $150,000 to $170,000, and you're like, I can't afford that, Brackett, you rich asshole.
You can't afford not to.
I was like, dude,
you can't afford not to.
7 years ago, I couldn't rub 2 pennies together.
Well, and Jared, we're talking about Jared and Jeremy a lot, and what I really love about Jared's
that's
story,
the commonality. I mean, that's where I saw
it. Jared drives, I think, a 2017, which is ironic. My wife's 4Runner is a 2017. But his 4Runner is 2017. I think it has 300,000 miles on it. Okay, so we're all talking about, and Jared could correct us if I'm wrong, but it's up there. It's way up there.
Yeah.
Paid for 300,000 mile vehicle, successful companies, plural, companies, stays poor to stay dirt rich.
Yeah.
Focused on dirt. Look at the wealth that we both know that just if we were to use them as a small sample size, the wealth and the generational equity, however you want to say the word, what they have, and they don't have a $800 truck payment a month, and I have that payment, so I'm just saying, change.
We have it because we have those businesses, but
I'll write it off.
I've got 2 cars out there paid off, and I would rather be. I never thought I could. I never thought this was our forever home. It is very homey place, our place here, right? And with the big deck and the pond or whatever. When I got out here and found peace on my own dirt, I want to die here. I don't need to go. The 88 that I have, I'll probably sell. But I thought I would build this big, beautiful house, this 7-acre lake, and it butts up against Caterpillar Proving Grounds. It's got 720 acres. That's no hunting. And they just the giants pour out of here. That's where I killed that big one this year. But I figured that would be it. And the more I got here, the more I relished in just a piece of dirt and had that. That's the game. So what do? They listen to your podcast, David. So you produce the pod, and this will double as my pod and your pod. And if they're listening to mine and they want to find yours, where do they go? What are they on? This one's only going to be on YouTube for right now. So you guys will be on all platforms. So where else will they find it?
Absolutely anywhere. So obviously we got our Facebook page. They did not produce the video onto the Facebook page for me, so you're welcome, Tyler. But no, otherwise, I
What's
guess.
so just tell them what the Facebook page is. I love going super simple, stupid kind of stuff and like base it back and go. Nobody's ever heard of you guys before or whatever because they just they watch my stuff and
They
whatever.
live under a rock.
Well, and I'm appreciative of being in your algorithm for sure.
So you're in
people.
my algorithm like crazy.
Yeah.
I wish I had a David. Maybe Drake can be a David. So Spotify, they just look up Legacy Acres or what?
Every podcast platform. The podcast is actually called the Legacy Through Land podcast with Tyler Markham.
Okay.
So it's a little bit differently branded, but still Legacy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go absolutely anywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple, you name it. It's on every platform. What's your
vision? What's your vision with the movement? I mean,
dude, this is a good question. I'm excited for you to get here.
When I keep saying this stuff,
because I stole David, so
I want to know why somebody would get in a vehicle at 3:30 in the morning and drive to Illinois to hit 3 or 4 cool projects and then look at land tomorrow and do all this stuff. I know why I did it. Yeah. I was absolutely addicted to learning and the excitement, and I couldn't sit still. Is that you?
Kind of.
Is there a driven thing deep underneath where you're like, this is going to unlock things for me and life and broing out and opportunities?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a driven thing behind all of it. I want to say that I still haven't fully figured that out, though, to be honest with you. And I'm Tyler's age, right?
Yep.
But I guess I'll go back to like how me and Tyler kind of came together and why I chose Tyler.
Yeah.
Which is
because he's a guy on a mission.
Yeah.
That's who Tyler is.
See, and me,
how do you feel about that, Dr. Phil? Do you feel that you're on a mission?
Oh, yeah,
you're on
for
a
sure.
mission.
Somebody said something years ago that I've kind of coined as what God has always been saying I'm doing is I have found a definiteness of purpose.
Yeah, I don't.
Ethos.
It might be too late. It's ethos for me.
Yeah,
it's actually
definitely
early.
wouldn't get it.
So the guy said when you find a definiteness of purpose in your life,
yeah,
being able to define it.
Yep.
When the dream is big, let's dumb it down. When the dream's big enough, the facts don't count.
Yeah.
And I found that I really like to create, and this is what makes me emotional about anybody that
you
would
got
come
to
work
finish
with
your
me.
sentence. You're driving me nuts.
I want to create a ripple effect.
You want to create a ripple effect.
Yep.
And I mean that in a friendship way.
No, 100%.
I care about what you say.
I want to create a ripple effect.
Ripple effect.
Yeah.
Play off that. What is that? What you saw when you guys met your friendship?
Kind of. I mean, I saw a lot of myself in Tyler, but I saw somebody who, admittedly, I think kind of had his act together more.
Yeah.
And me, I've always considered myself just a survivor.
Yeah.
Like I just get through the day. Like, I grew up.
Okay. So I didn't reach, not survive. I didn't reach where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
This is new for me. This is a new comfort in my basement. Drake's now family. I can have friends set up here. The first time I got money in the bank, and I don't care which of the 4 properties I own.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure that I can lose everything and have just this one right now. That's the first time I have not been in post-traumatic stress survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe a lot of 38-year-olds, no matter what we know about what the Lord says, providing for your family is the biggest. Yeah. So that keep seeking that because that comes, but I don't have a secret sauce for you to get over that, but it is obtainable because I'm there now.
Yeah. And me, I kind of like that. That's been my whole life, from high school until I entered the outdoor industry back in 2017.
Is that the creative side that draws you and drives you and makes it a little wild?
I've always been a right brainer. I've always been a bit of a rebel. Like, I got kicked out of my house at 16 and homeschooled myself to an early graduation, living in my car and all that.
Yeah. Now,
But
does that identify you as you get older? Because here's the healthy version.
Built me. It didn't identify me.
So here's the healthy version of the other side of it is I was the bad boy on TV and off and whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
did undiagnosed autistic and just wild, and I that's where the tattoos come from. I wish I could erase all of them, because the healing comes when you realize that part, you almost quiet the bear, like Legends of the Fall, we're movie guys.
Yep.
Legends of the Fall, quiet the bear. Like when you realize like that bear isn't who you are,
Yeah.
there's an unbelievable peace that comes from that.
Yeah. And I think something like, this is getting really deep here, but I think something really happened in 2025, like globally on a godly scale, right? Because I've been searching. That's like, like my whole life, and again, I was in the outdoors industry. I worked for deer and deer hunting for 10 years. I thought that I had finally found my purpose, right? But fast forward 10 years,
It's a job.
I have it ends up just being a job. I mean, I love the people, I love the brand to death, but I felt like I was going nowhere anymore. And then things started to happen in life. I just started connecting with people, and it led me to him. And at the same time, like I think there was kind of a shift in the entire vibe of the country and men in general when Charlie Kirk died. Right?
Yeah.
And like you said, the last 6 months has been transformative for you. The last 6 months has been incredibly transformative for me in getting to know Tyler. And I told myself I was never going to leave DDH. Like, I just love the brand that much.
Yeah. And so shout out to Deer and Deer Hunting. Your wife's there?
She still works there.
Yeah. Wisconsin. They're out of Wisconsin.
Yeah. Based in central Wisconsin.
What are they doing now? Are they just doing content? Were you just doing content there? And
I mean, they
social?
The magazine is almost 50. No, I think it's over 50 years old.
Yeah. I don't think they've wrote anything bad about me, but they weren't part of the Intermedia game, right? So Intermedia was my first backing. Well, every magazine on the planet had me in it, but it was all Intermedia, really driven. But I don't think I've ever done anything with Deer and Deer Hunting, but I've bought it about 1 million times.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, I asked them about you on the way over here, and their opinion's good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, cool.
I knew we knew you'd be terrified.
That's when people say, like, dude, I don't know how you deal with the hate. And I go, oh, what are they going to say? I mean, what are they going to say that somebody else hasn't? Yeah. I'm going to go up, snuggle my hot wife in a little bit, send Drake home, feed him a steak. He's going to go back to the hunter house, and you guys are going to do your thing, and we're going to get up in the morning, and I'm going to have coffee. And I've never found anyone that is doing better than you that has time. Nobody but doing better than you has any time to hate on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They just don't. Yeah. They're so busy doing whatever. It's like ordering food. If somebody takes a ridiculous amount of time, like my wife, to order food and her mom, they're like old ladies. My wife and her mom are like kindred little spirits. It takes them 45 minutes to wear the waitress down. And they always find the waitress that's like, that's all right, honey. And I'm like, I don't know. Warm potato, meat, bring it, fine. I'm out. Jody Pay, I got to go. But I think that's how life is. People are. And I think good people that are busy doing their thing, they don't have time to be buttholes. So when you guys, so you left that to just kind of seek purpose.
Yeah, I think so. And again, like, I sold myself on that was my career. That was everything. And it was the kind of career where I gave it everything, like I had an air mattress where if I needed to produce, because I produced.
You'd stay in the office.
Yeah, I would. Just because I had 4 TV shows to produce, all for Q3. You've done that. And at the same time, all the online content. And over the 10 years, I helped build it to great masses. But
I should have hired you. You probably wouldn't have got busted for buying crack cocaine downtown Peoria.
Depends on how much was in it.
Right, I was going to say.
I don't see you buying. I don't see you buying.
As a producer in the outdoors industry, that story is told to all of us.
Yeah.
And we all use it as like, don't piss off your camera. So, sorry.
SoCal, man. Southern California.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Yeah, I had people don't know like the side of, they all think it was one cameraman. You got one guy buying crack cocaine, my main guy, me giving up my salary for him, and then me giving everything to him, and then having people stab me in the back. And then you got other people that are, they begging for an opportunity, and you bring them into the Navy SEALs dang special forces training and throw them right into the wolves, and they can't take just getting berated, and you're in the trenches. I mean, this is what people don't understand is $60,000 every time I produce a show. So if I'm going to Texas and I got to shoot as many does as I can and come up with, all of this nighttime stuff, and I'm producing it all, and I'm getting a helper to help, and all they got to do is film a doe, and they can't even not make noise and whatever. Like they were going to get lit up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 60. I know people will kill people for 10 grand. And
dude, I
this
got
is
money to do it for 3
for sure, dude. Well, you got to go down to the southern end of Peoria, dude. You could get somebody to do it for nothing.
South Pekin, not Pekin, but South.
No, Peoria. The deal with 60 grand every time you film. These kids that grabbed a camera or that asked to be part of it, that was interning or whatever, most of them won't even make 60 grand in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all riding on them being f-stop, shutter speed, focus, whatever we are shooting in. And sometimes we had to shoot slow-mos. And I'm producing the whole thing in the field and whatnot. And like, they just don't get that. And then you had some that came in, you'd give them a salary and you'd have to teach them that, all for them to go on to do this. But hundreds of them came in there for 3 weeks, give a place to live, did all this stuff. And you went through a million of them, and people think, well, you called the one kid a retard and you said this and whatever, and this and that. I was like, yeah, if people filmed you without you knowing it because they had their camera down there, entrapment type stuff, is like, just imagine the horrible stuff that our wives could film us do or say, or the disgusting things, or the self that Jesus sees, and and the despicable. Like that's not changing. I'm working on progressive sanctification for the rest of my life, but like I just am glad that I'll this is my aggressive side now, is now I'll pull over my truck to let somebody go around me, where before I would have ran them off the road and yelled or whatever. And now I'll just like slam my brakes and pull off the side and let them go. And that's the aggro side of what I do now. But we're all a wreck, man. But sorry to hijack the industry, but the industry side of things is like, don't piss off your cameraman, but if you're a Christian, you don't sue. So like I could have taken everyone to the cleaners.
Mm-hmm.
Every person that reposted something that wasn't theirs, the one, so you had Salvo that was filming the deer that didn't shut it off. That's one thing. I admitted guilt to that, and I was guilty for not getting out of the blind to look for the other deer, and that I shot the one or whatever. But I shot a third deer too, like 4 days earlier. Like nobody really knows what happened. They just like to be mean and be like, oh, he screwed up everything. Be like, well, great. I like my eggs poached too. Sweet. Well, let's move on. It's like, and it's like, Chip was a despicable person, but I played savior complex forever on most of these guys. My best and favorite lifetime doing my career was running around with my best friend Danny, and we grew up together. You don't get any better than that dude. And that dude would, be in the trenches handing me freaking grenades to throw, and those are who you should have picked, right? In the industry. And you should have but if you don't have anybody looking out for you, like you're looking out for him, and hopefully he's looking out for you guys, and watch your six. Dude, I was just full of talent and vision, and I was running 300 miles an hour, and I couldn't keep up with myself, let alone have anybody watch my six. And so hopefully, that's where you guys are at, is watch your six. But you were producing 4 shows, and then the magazine, and then all the social media content. what do you, David, love to do out of all of those things you did at deer and deer hunting and now do at Legacy Acres? And then what's the podcast name? Say it one more time.
The Legacy Through Land podcast.
Legacy Through Land podcast. You guys look it up.
Yeah. So what I like to tell everybody is that, like, I grew up not hunting, right? So I didn't hunt until I got that job in 2017.
Yeah.
And I grew up in Southern California wanting to be Steven Spielberg. So my core is storytelling, right?
What's your favorite movie? Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg movie?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my favorite movie is not the Spielberg movie, but if I had to pick a favorite Spielberg, probably E.T.
Yeah, man. I'm scared of E.T. still to this day.
Yeah.
I hate aliens.
I can do a pretty good.
No.
I can do a sound effect of him pretty well.
No, you'll freak me out, dude. Post-traumatic stress. I'm serious. Aliens freak me out.
But
no. If you show up with a red finger in my room one day, I won't. It won't be good.
We had to throw out an office chair in my house because my sister.
The head.
The thing,
neck.
the neck, and it had the little things. We had to throw it out because she was like, "That's ET." We had literally. She was like 12.
I like your sister already. I'm 48.
that's a little too. He's a little higher.
Do you want to do the yell?
Elliot. So you wanted to produce movies.
Yeah, I mean, that was like the childhood dream.
So then that didn't work out. He just found me, and it's just a second.
No, well, I mean, I found my name in TV credits at some point, which I thought was the coolest thing in the world.
Fun, yeah.
Right, but then it's like, well, it just became repetitive, and there's a lot of great stories to be told in the outdoors, and that's what I always strive to do with those shows. But it's hard when it's like, well, I got 4 shows, I got 2 producers that work for me. There's only so much content we can get together. We can't, as you know, you got to repurpose stuff. Right. Yeah. If you have that much.
No. You don't. I never did.
You don't, but
I never did. But I wish I did. But you can repurpose all of that in there. How many people want to see David and these guys help me resurrect Arrow Affliction of Fear No Evil and put them all on YouTube? That's what I think.
There you go.
All of them. If you get 1,000 comments,
you can have your ad. You can have your if
million.
No,
million comments.
I don't even have 10,000 people on my YouTube.
10 million.
I just need like 80 more people on YouTube. I just need 80 more people on YouTube. But you can
come on,
advertise.
80. Come on, 80
you
people.
You could be my advertiser on there. Brought to you by Legacy Acres.
Wide.
Yeah.
We'll talk after.
Yeah. What do you what's your dream? We got to get to David's dream and then you can like take us out.
Yeah, you do. You guys have to get to this tie. Okay. I've been sitting. Yeah, no, like you have to. What Chris is going to love about why do we start working together and all these things is like you're right at it. You want to tell a story.
You want to tell a story.
I want to tell a story. Yeah, and that's I at DDH I could tell stories, but they didn't mean much to me anymore. And career wise, I knew I met my ceiling there. Right, like it's a magazine. I love those guys to death, but there's not a long future there. I'll stop there.
Are you guys filming? Are you guys filming now then?
Yeah.
What?
You're filming everything you do?
Yeah. That's why he came from Wisconsin.
I didn't know that.
Lines is to film.
This is the connector.
Yep.
So you're filming this today. You're moving blinds today. Do you end up not moving? What'd you film today?
I filmed them moving blinds and all that stuff. Because for me, it's like, okay, well, Tyler's like, well, what can we actually make out of this?
So is this Patreon or is this behind a paywall or
no? This will be YouTube because we got to build up our storytelling ability at Legacy. Right?
Cool.
What most real estate companies have is they have property walkthroughs.
This ties it all together. Everybody's been here for an hour and a half, and now we're gonna bring her home.
And that's great, right? But what I do is I just tell stories. I don't really sell products, right? I didn't sell for my advertisers. I just told stories where we use the products.
Yeah.
And so what I want to do with Tyler is, okay, well, today we went and moved blinds. Now, as a solo event, there's nothing there, right? But where did we move that blind? We moved it to a brand new piece of property lease that Tyler got. Yep. And hopefully this upcoming year, we're going to put some food in there. We're going to buy crops back, I guess. And we're going to kill something out of it, right?
Yeah.
So I want to tell the whole story, start to finish. And that story started today.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. I love the take it full circle thing, because a lot of times they, meaning producers or content creators in some form or fashion, they'll always use the drill or whatever and put it in. They never go back to the same location and say, fast forward 97 days.
Yeah.
They don't show the secondary, even if they don't kill. You could go on and go, how do I plant October Magic from White Gold, right? They don't show you the secondary. I love, even if it's just in short form, to go take a picture of my frost seeding clover rush and go back now and go,
here it is,
balling,
90 days later. Yep.
Balling out.
Late March, and it's green. It's the only thing that's green right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I'm super excited about having David as part of our team is I want to tell a story with what we do. And you asked earlier kind of what is your guys' thing? And I'll be incredibly transparent that I think we're still trying to figure out what our thing is. But what I know that,
but I love the journey. We talked about it.
Yeah. And for us, what I do know is that we want to tell the story of how I believe I'm either going to empower someone to take their first steps into buying land.
Well, I think that's your step.
I'm going to help them understand land stewardship. Kind of what does this look like? Just remove some of the intimidation factor of what is it to be a land steward. And the third one for me, and it's probably more my own self-absorbed care, is I want to teach someone to believe they can. Because
I love all three of those.
The belief that you can will unlock generational legacies for you.
But back that up, because it's not self-absorbed.
No,
that was your God-given purpose.
No, but see,
that's a God-given
but there's something to do with humility as an older man, and he's on the cusp. These guys are on the cusp of it, 36 and 38, right?
37.
37.
The most
they're dealing
years of your life, just by the way.
Well, you're right. You're just in this spot where you are young enough to go balls out. You feel like you need to leave a legacy. You feel like you have to leave a mark. You got to provide for your family, because there's all of these primal things driving you. Then there's another part of like, I'm ready to go to heaven right now. I think I'm going to be petting deer there, not killing them. I believe that when the Lord comes, we will be floating in things of fourth dimension or whatever, and that there will be a new earth. I can't wait to see my mom.
Yeah.
But there is a part of humility, and that's how a 37-year-old man will describe it to a 22-year-old, that the absorption of, I feel that it's a little selfish because we're on the back nine at 37 plus, right? And it doesn't make sense till you're older that there is this cautiousness. The same reason I won't get on a bull, but you two would be like, that sounds awesome.
I think that sounds incredibly stupid.
This guy would get on it tomorrow. He'd get on it right now.
The only thing dumber than getting on a bull?
What?
Getting on the bull again.
Getting on the bull again. This guy would get on a bull right now. And if I was 21, I'd get on a bull. If I was 30, I'd get on a bull. At 36 and 37, you start having these reservations that you go, am I saying that humble enough? And it's a real spiritual battle for the next couple years on the backside of 40, where you go like, you have a nervous breakdown at 40. Your body starts breaking down. Your hair goes, it turns white. Your knees, all these things hurt. But the wisdom you get at the same conversion of that is one where you go, yeah, don't worry about pizza, guys. I'll just go get some steaks. I already have this ready. We'll just have this. Come on. If you guys are willing to drive, I'm willing to do this. If you will. Dude, I didn't have that. I didn't have that until the world meant it for bad and my Lord meant it for good. But see, when you read it, you're like, I know his heart. He's good. But he's like trying to find this wise older guy. At the same time, he has these things to prove. That's why the clock is ticking to leave a legacy. And that's why it's driven to teach a bunch of people. And I was that way to my own demise at 38. When everything happened, that happened at 40. 4 years earlier was 36. So at 36, everything had happened before my huge rise to fame, because I wasn't even sponsored by the things and stuff I was wearing. I just had an intern running a dang camera. No different than this. No different than nobody's going to ever care if I shoot 2 of these deer. I don't even know if I hit the first one. That's the one we're after. Let's kill this one and sort them out later. If that other one's dead, we'll just go buy another tag or figure it out, or go to landowner or whatever, bury it. I don't know, but that one's not our worry. This one's our worry. Let's go ahead and do this one. It's the same way as the one 5 days earlier that I couldn't find and walk 3 hours for. It's the same one as the car hit the other one. They're stupid deer. They're here for our dominion. The laws are from the state and the feds. That the fact is that the thing that happened to me, everybody's like, he doesn't take it serious. Bullshit. I paid 30 grand. I sat out for friggin' 3 years. I paid all my pens to everybody in the world, and I let all that change me and define me, which really didn't have anything to do with who I was. It had to do with the character that I was playing and who I thought I was as a producer and as a character and as a whatever. And I got to reset, and I got a second chance, and I got humility, and I got all of that. But the big deal is that what all of that comes down to is that we don't know who we are. This is the first time all of us in this room have ever tried to live. And so you balance at different ages to be humble. I mean, he's got his name on a podcast. He's got his name on his shirts and this brand he's building, whatever. And so when you say little things like that, and then this isn't me calling out, I just love diving into these, is that the reason that we say that or find that is because we're trying not to have people judge us that we're speaking the truth. And so he doesn't need to say that. But if he wants customers are neurotypical. They don't own businesses. They won't even buy the 25 acres just over the border in West Virginia.
They sure won't.
What?
They won't.
They won't what?
They sure won't buy it.
Yeah. No, I dare you guys won't buy that sucker. But like, so that's why I decided when Drake and Gavin and me were going to do this was like, I just wanted to tell really real stuff that is in my brain because I had to live it. And you just can't imagine how it changes from 22 to 48. You just cannot imagine. Like it's unbelievable. And I've lived 1,000 lifetimes. I've lived all of our dreams in this room and was blessed to do it, and none of them means anything compared to Acts 20:24. How I finish the race from here on out. That's it. What I can give, but I'll guard my heart. Like I'll love on somebody. Like my friend right now is driving me nuts. I'll love on them.
It's stock market junk.
But my heart, dude, I got to guard my heart.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like, it's just man stuff. So I can't wait to see what you guys do with capturing some of this stuff. Are you into filming, Wes?
I'm into everything at this point.
Yeah, you're open to it all. You're 22, except for bulls.
I mean, seriously, the last 3 weeks of being with us, I mean, he's brand new. So this is, I'm sure, just wild to see how this will age in a year, even. But I told him you're gonna have to know a little bit about every single thing we do, because you may weed eat a fence, you may show a farm, you may put a sign up, you may go meet an investor, you may pick up a gutter, you may service a truck.
So you're not a real estate agent.
Nope.
And that diversity is where you want to stay.
I'm undecided.
Yeah.
I really, being an agent, there's things I can do because I'm not an agent that agents can't do.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that.
Well, that's why we're not part of the MLS.
Okay.
So we're not part of the MLS. We don't answer to them cats.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like, I give referral fees. I love it. I've advertised it. I just, it's probably for us, having a brokerage of some sorts probably in the near future out of necessity, because there are people that we can't help if they don't take my cash offer. Then I do send them to the street sometimes because I don't have any other way to do it. I'll send them connected to, one of my agent friends. But at the end of the day, I've had multiple people, probably 5 or 6 now, come to me and just say, I want you to help me sell my farm, or I want you to help me do something. And I hate not having an opportunity for something that I have created a captive audience, that maybe this is a way that God wants to put someone in our life. So I understand I understand the enormity of creating a brokerage, and I'm kind of not interested in it right now, but it may be something
it's a really big endeavor, but it may pay off for you not to be one, and these guys be a real estate agent, 100%. One in one state, one in another kind of thing, and just be under, like you said, Midwest Land Group or whoever, or Rita's Real Estate in Pinkerton, Ohio, Dude, I got some baller stories from all of those areas in Pinkerton from back
the Eskers. Yeah.
Before that.
I didn't know when I had Spook on the podcast a while back, I didn't know Spook, he owns a piece of property like 5 miles from me.
He owns all the stuff that I used to hunt with Jimmy Lee and all them boys in there. And I used to go, why don't we corn these? It's legal here. And they're like, oh, they won't eat them early season. I'm like, well, they just live in that park. We can hunt here? Can't we just corn them over here? And Jimmy and those guys
really,
like,
come on.
No.
Yeah,
no, they won't come over. And I'm like, okay. Really, that was back running around with Adam Hayes and everybody. I mean, this is back with Blodgett Call days and whatever. Like, dude, my life goes way.
I'm having Adam on the podcast next week.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know some things you might have me ask him, or conversation starters, or just anything.
Well, ask him all about the red moon and his thing. I've never got to talk to him. Okay. I've never got to talk to him, and just ask him about, like, my theories with the full moon, like before a full moon, that I feel that it leads up to the main peak of the full moon, and then maybe 24 hours after. And then I just watch critter movement for 10 days after the full moon. They just don't do anything. They don't do anything. And you can't be like, well, something. Nope. Deer don't do anything.
Dude, and
they do not do anything for 10 days after that. And then they'll start ramping back up. And then if it correlates with barometer and this and that, but I don't know how Adam came up with it, but Adam's funny. He used to run around with like Steve Bailey's, Adam, me, Harry Blodgett, Jimmy Lee. Dude, we used to that was the crew.
Sloan Kettering,
Who?
Sloan Kettering.
I don't know what joke
Step Brothers, Johnny Hopkins and Sloan Kettering. Oh, anyway.
But we like, I went up to the Lone Wolf Custom guys at ATA or whatever, and the one guy. So I was telling my wife. So here's this a funny story about this, is that guys on Instagram or whatever, like, I pay attention to all this stuff out there, and all these young guys, to talk about you young guys again, they do not pay homage to the older guys, and all we want is respect. It's all we want. We want, like, when I was a little kid, I watched Brackett shoot bumblebees out of the air and doves and ducks, and it really told me that one day I wanted to film. That's all it would take. And I watch all their stuff. So like, I saw the Sasquatch guy at the Lone Wolf booth with the Jeremy and Jared, and then the other guys wear suspenders. He's all wound up. He's got Sasquatch, dude. And he's a big guy, but like, I'm 6'1", 270, and I was like, well, I thought you'd be bigger, a big Sasquatch guy. And then they got the guy with the suspenders and always wearing the brown pants, and he's always wound up with the blonde hair and the big eyes or whatever, and he's always wound up. And I'm telling Jody, and I'm like, yeah, remember I told you about him and this and that? And they were like, I can't believe this guy watches us, right? And I'm like, dude, I'm just like everybody else. I'm a fan of outdoors and outdoor TV. That's where I got into it 30 years ago. I'm still a fan. I still watch this content. But these kids like Chris B and all the whatever, and I'm like, they're not even fun. They're not even good at their job. There's just the content so low anymore. They're just not even good at what they do. They're like, oh, I think we're putting in rolling hills seed today, red, white, and blue. And you're like, at least before you turn on the camera, running your DSLR with your really moody shots and your 3.2 f-stops and blah, 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 blah. It's like, stop. Just at least have a conversation and say, this is a brassica seed. Brassicas are, like a tuber, and they grow. And what? Have a little bit of education before you just start pimping crap out. Like, they give no reverence to us. Like, I hate the Seek One guy and everything that he stands for. I hate these young ass punks about all of this stuff that
Now
they film on YouTube and all of that.
Let's name names.
All of
here.
it. Oh yeah, what are they going to do? Call me a poacher? Make a meme up?
I warned my guys that Chris, there's a thing about him. He doesn't actually care to say who it is.
Yeah. What are they going to do? Make a meme up that I look like Colin Kaepernick, and they, it's like, well, you lose your career, what it'll cost you $2. I make way more money now than ever being famous, bro. But I watch all this content, and I just go like, one time this one guy had Lee Ellis call me, and he tried to like nicey nice me, and I just went, listen, bro, I don't like you. I don't like how you come off. I don't like that you don't pay homage to Adam and the Eskers and all the people hunting backyards way before you. My wife has passed up giant deer with airplanes landing in the background at Columbus Airport, dude, before your ass was even born, Lee Ellis. And I'm sorry that you say I don't pay for anything, but when your dad owns the big neighborhoods where you started to hunt, tomato, but give some respect to the other people. And then going out of nowhere, like his first cool thing was like, I'm going to go take a 200-inch antler that I found from whatever, and I'm going to go to Lee Lukowski's, and I'm going to act like I tricked them.
Gosh. So our goals at Legacy Acres
are to do the exact same thing, right?
Yeah. So like, those are just things that just, why do they piss me off? They piss me off because I believe that the quality of the content that they're producing is insulting the viewer that I spent 30 years building, and the romance that Roger Ragland and Howard Hill and Fred Bear and everybody did, all of this stuff and the primetime videos and the Realtree videos and all the stuff we all grew up on, they haven't even seen them. They could care less about them. And I just think that it is the dumbest thing to watch flash in the pan superstar YouTubers think that they're the coolest thing ever when they literally have nothing. And I spent a life living for the fans, the same ones that want to slit my throat because I shot a second deer. And I would have done it. I would have done it if there was a camera there or not. It was the way I grew up. And I paid my price because it was illegal. And I gave up. The minute I knew that it wasn't about me and it was more about agenda, I said, here you go. I'll pay my fine. I'll give up. You win. And I sat out. But these new kids, so I say all of that to go, please make good content. Just please make good content. Tie him into what he's doing and make it really and live, and make it live scenery. Don't shoot too many crazy wild DSLR stuff with 15 other cameras and all of these things. Now they got mirrorless stuff that we're filming on, and I've got $40,000 worth of five, I don't even know what they are, FS5s and FS7s sitting in the closet and all of this stuff. And everything I feel like I fought for 30 plus years to make some of the greatest outdoor TV on the planet we all did. I feel like all the Chris B's and the whoever's and the Seek Ones and whatever, they just piss on it.
I like it.
They just piss on it, man.
Can I put a weird icing on this cake, though? Not this cake as our entire podcast and time together. So whenever you're ready for it, if you're not done baking the cake,
bring it. My cake's baked. They already know I don't.
It's
like
now
them.
morning.
I don't get it.
So for our viewers and listeners here, it's actually tomorrow. Now.
Well, they don't. They
just was today when we started, but it's not tomorrow.
Yeah, now. Drake's got to work. You guys got to do.
We're gonna actually take you. Yeah, listen, we're gonna take you, Dad, to this farm tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be our newest project farm in Knox County, Illinois. You've heard of it, Knox County.
Yeah, we're in.
So this is what I want to say to Chris Brackett, because I've listened to Chris Brackett for a long, long time, and I kind of knew of the Chris Brackett that was the character, let's call Chris Brackett.
Jeremy likes to refer to him as the Booyah Bracket.
Okay. So Booyah Bracket was a really good time. But and I've said this to anyone that will listen, and this will be one of the things that I'll remember Chris for forever, because he would talk to my soul at a time, and that he talked to a lot of people's soul, whether they'll admit it or not. He said a lot of us are out here hunting, and we spend all this time hunting, and we try to hone our craft with hunting and being in the woods, and we're hunting a deer, and that's what we think. But we're actually just hunting for our soul.
We really are.
And what I have loved seeing from you, hearing from you, feeling from you, resonating from you, and anything I've listened to you put out or anything you've been a part of, is your heart is really good, and it's really healed, and it's really whole, and it's really
I still have a
real.
black heart, though. I'm a sinner till the day I die, but
But you've had restoration. You've had a ton of restoration.
But it's still black. The Holy Spirit living through me, and even to now where I'm convicted that I need to clarify, even though I would love to spank those two young boys on YouTube and say, you can do better. That's it. Why would I get all angry earlier and be like, because they could do better.
Sure.
It's just fly by the night, whatever. I know, but I'm convicted of it. So I just want to say, Crispy and the Seek One guy or whatever, they can do better. You're doing shoddy little fancy tricks. Stop it. Do something worthwhile. I'd like to watch it.
And I'll add that if you want affirmation of that opinion, and I don't even watch Seek One, so I can't have that opinion on that. But that's always kind of been my opinion since I started producing.
I think it's more opinion than anybody else, but they don't.
No one would say it. Wants to say it.
Yeah, well, no, but they will. Like, if you just have to listen. So again, if you want affirmation of that, my favorite thing to do as a producer was go to a small town in Wisconsin.
I'm not discrediting what you say.
Go to a tiny town.
But I feel
in
convicted with this.
That thrives on the hunting season, right? Go sit at the local bars. They watch Sportsman or Pursuit Channel or whatever, and listen to what the guys sitting there are talking about. And all it is complaints. It's, I'll never be able to afford that land. This is just an outfitter commercial. And, who wants to watch 4 minutes of these ducks flying in slow motion because they don't have a story to tell?
Yep. Well, and we'll have to do a producer view one day. But hey, I really appreciate what you said about that. But I really feel that I felt for a really long time when I was really healing I felt really guilty of all the hours I spent waiting for a critter. But I now know at my older age is to cut young men's kind of hell on earth in half.
Yeah.
Even if they know the Lord, mine is to shorten their wisdom. Shorten their time frame to get to wisdom.
I heard someone say one time, experience is the best teacher, but they never finish the sentence usually, which is, as long as it's not yours.
The experience.
Right.
And most of us are
burn your own time.
Yeah,
if you're waiting on it to be your own experience, it's not the best teacher. As long as it's not yours, it's the best teacher. But the
commonality that we keep talking about over and over is we are forged by fire. We are not going to listen to other people. We can kind of teach us, but even when somebody hires me as a consultant, I run into 2 problems. So if somebody hires me as a consultant to go to their property, I run into 2 problems. First problem, none of them own a tractor. So I got a lot of clients that just go like, I'm not buying a tractor. I'm not buying a tractor, not buying the implements. And you're like, how are you going to do this? Number 1. Number 2, the relationship with the farmer aspect of it. They're like, well, the farmer won't leave it. I'm like, you own the ground. Get a new farmer. I'm like, well, I don't want to. I don't. Like, you're just like, I got to be an adult all the time. And I'm like, I have 107 acres out here. There's not an inch of it that doesn't have food or cover on it. And there is no farmer. I'm a farmer. We bought the 88 next to the Cap Proving Grounds this year. Because I didn't want to run into that, I literally went, I'm going to plant the whole thing with a 4-row. He sat on there for like 6 hours. It was a 6-foot disc in the whole thing. And then I planted it with a 4-row and then had the farmer come in and pick what I left. That I left 7 acres for the deer. I had the farmer combine the rest. But my point is, like, 2 little things hold $2 million farm. I don't want to buy a tractor. And I run into that quite often when it comes to all this stuff. Well, dude, thanks for saying those kind words about what I really think that our purpose is bigger. I think that these YouTube stars and these content creators on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, like, they're just, as the kids would say, so cringe. They're not putting the work into it. It's wild. There's no romance or art anymore. There's nothing to strive for. It's no Gold Moose Awards. You're not getting any awards. Your awards are, if it's weird and cringy, you get more likes and then get paid more money. And so the quality isn't of importance anymore. And I hate that.
No, it's been a real struggle for me just being in the outdoor space with being in the, even in the land quadrant of it. I've tried to just intimately stay in the land quadrant of it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty, and I say pretty allergic to like the sponsorship stuff. And like, yeah. I just don't really have any interest.
Well, I have some great partners like White Gold. Even when I didn't have anything, they knew that they needed me to help kind of keep their seed like fresh and out there and like direct. We only do direct. So like I can buy some stuff at Kelly Seed or I can buy some stuff at Bass Pro. But like if I want super high quality stuff that's fresh, they just send it out of Michigan and it's to your door, like White Gold stuff. And then I shoot the beast. And then like we got Cantrell Taxidermy and whatever. Like they make this stuff. They make this stuff possible. And like the Lowdown Viewer, that's out of Wisconsin with Al. It's like I should get you one. It's got a card reader in it. And you dump your card in and dump it to the master card and then put that baby back in. Cause every time you like forget about a camera in the woods and you're like, I wish I had a card. Well, I got this in the Polaris and you throw that in there or whatever. So, but
he just said he's allergic to that.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm out. I'm still out, but okay. I've heard a Lowdown Viewer. It's good.
But you're allergic to.
It's amazing. I'm not interested in it.
Well,
partners.
No, what I'm allergic to that I think you have a very few people in the industry could speak to is I am allergic to what I would call the deep state of the sponsorship. Dude, right.
So
I'm not going to be a puppet for people.
No, that's the one thing that they can say about Chris Brackett is, yeah, I can be mean, I could be straightforward, I could do all this stuff, but there's not one human on the planet that can go, he sold out. Ever.
Yep, that's exactly me. I do not want to do that.
Even when HS at one time, I want to be with HS forever since Prime Time 1 did. Steve Puppy, rest in peace, and all my heroes and all this stuff when I grew up. Want to be with Prime Time. But I don't use all their stuff. I don't use sodium benzenol, which is the spray and stuff. And I don't go that route, but I do wash my clothes and do whatever. But I'll use all the scrape, all the piss and stuff. I'll put it in my scrapes because it just turns to ammonia 24 hours anyways, like that kind of thing. But, but I never sold out ever. Yeah. I shot a Diamond Iceman when Matthews and all of these, and even Bowtech had all the super Lamborghini type bows. I was still shooting a Diamond Iceman because it was $449 because more people could afford that. And the little kids wanted to shoot the nuclear ices and the other bows because they wanted to shoot a diamond like Chris Brackett Aerofliction guy.
Yep.
And so like, even looking back on that, if I would have made a heck of a lot more money if I'd have taken more sponsors and done some of that.
I've always been pretty torn on the subject because I was an advertiser for 10 years, right? So it's like, for me, look, the industry doesn't exist without advertising dollars. It just doesn't. So if you want this type of content, it has to exist.
I quit Aerofliction in season 2. Yeah. The reason I quit was David Langston was running Hunter Safety System, biggest ad ever, which was Hunter Safety System. They had everybody. Yeah. and we were all under it. Well, he took 20 grand and sponsored Aerofliction. This is before I realized that he was really just paying money to the intermedia pot of the ads in the magazines, not really to Aerofliction, but he was supporting me, but I felt like he was supporting me. And I got mad because I was going to do a zip line wearing a hunter safety system and spin me around and shoot the targets and then over and over do that. And the executives were like, no, show's got to get done. Just shoot at one of the block targets. And over that principle of that sponsor that was paying money so I could do my dream, quit Aerofliction over the integrity. And people were like, oh, why would you do that? You give up your dream. And you're like, it's over principle, man. So they were never sponsors for me. They were just, they were supporters of true supporters. So why don't you take us out? And thanks for coming and hanging out. And we're gonna have a good day looking at farms tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell a wild quick outro for what happened to us today. Because if this is what you mean, I don't know what take us out is, but if it's we outie,
you're gonna tell everybody. Yep. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So seriously, this is a talk to people ism. This was just kind of a wild thing that happened to us today. We're going to a farm that I told you in the morning. We're going to a farm that I lost. We leased the farm. I'd nurtured the relationship with the seller to try and buy it. And truthfully, I could have bought this farm. I just didn't know what it was worth. Didn't know the market. Yep. I'm exploring. Didn't know. Seller passes away on me like a week before I would have had this farm bought. He passes away. Well, we meet with them. They need to list the farm. They want to get the most they can get for it. Totally get. Told him up. I literally day one said, you were with me. I said, I'm not your person. Like I'm just not. I know what your family needs to do. He's passed away. You need the most money you can get.
Sell it.
Move mom to Texas. Like do it. So they find this agent. His name's Brad Belser. They connect. They say, hey, can we talk? Can we connect Brad Belser with you? Which leads to, hey, can I get all your trail camera photos? Can you tell me all the stories? Can you? Which I'm happy to do. No, I don't know Brad Belser. So we meet. We're talking. We're phone conversation. Never meet him. Do all the thing. He gets the farm under contract to sell. Well, then he says, hey, can I have this guy? He's interested in talking to you. He's from Michigan. He wants to talk to you about the farm. Is that okay? I'm like, sure, it's fine. Well, ironically, I'm like, well, we're going out to take the blind and all the stuff off the farm. And they were like, well, we're going to be here at the same time, ironically. Like we all did not know any of this was going to happen. So we meet at the farm, Brad, now the new buyer, and myself. And the buyer asks me all these questions.
Did you give Brad a gimme and get him in there?
Oh,
do his job.
Clutched it.
I can't wait.
You ask Brad, but this is what's crazy about this. This is the God thing. This is a kingdom connection. So as the day's going on, and these guys they're all like laughing because I'm giving this guy, the new buyer, I'm getting him a free consultation on the farm. Yeah. They're asking me to take him around, do
everywhere,
everything, telling him exactly what to do, where to put plots. But you can just tell the guys just kind of like, I would want somebody to do this. Like I love what you guys are saying, but I'm not going to be the guy doing it. I got that vibe. And at the end of it, he's like, well, hey, how about this? And we go back and forth. Long story short, we go back and forth on like, how about you? He said, I want to lease this farm. I'm going to lease this farm. I'm only going to hunt it like 3 or 4 days a year. I'm just going to lease it to some hunters. I knew this like up front. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing. I would never do that, but I'm not telling you that.
Yeah.
You do you. So he's like, well, why don't I keep, I'll buy the blind or just give me the blind and I'll let you guys lease the farm. Long story short, we go back and forth to where he's buying this blind from me and he's leasing the farm back to us for 2 years. No money. I'm just doing the food plots. We're doing the full reign of the farm. He hunts it like 3 to 4 days. And at the end, he says, hey, I know with your renovation projects, your flip farms, I've got cash. If you want to do something together, let's do it. The point of this conversation, this story is, it's not to pat my back. It is. Okay, let's start at the beginning. How'd you find the farm, Tyler? I sent letters. Yep. Okay, I sent a letter. How'd you get to lease the farm for next to nothing? Nurtured the relationship. How'd you get the chance to buy it? Nurtured the relationship. Screwed that up. Didn't buy it. I should have bought it. Nurtured the relationship. Go to the realtor. How do you get any connection there? Nurture the relationship. New buyer could have just been like, hey, sorry, not interested. I'll get my blinds off. You guys have a good one, but I'm busy. Yeah. Nurtured the relationship. By the end of it, guy's probably going to be an investor, for sure a friend, man of God, great man of God, and said, how does God not put this all together?
Yeah.
We lease the farm back, and he pays me for my blind.
Yeah, he just wants a great investment. He wants a great investment. He wants to hunt with good people.
And he wants to, I mean, I always just tell people, yes, people make fun of me like, hey, you just talk. Great. I own that. This is what it gets me.
Yeah.
This is what it gets me.
Yeah.
Relationship building is constantly what I will say is the key to all of it. It's
there was time in my life when I went from high school to, working odd jobs or whatever to superstar or to creator, producer, cameraman, travel the world, chase my dreams, catch every one of them, do all that stuff. Did not know how to people. A little bit on the autism side. That was a little bit of it, not being able to be neurodivergent and be able to understand and read cues, but didn't know how to people. Within the last year, being able to people, slow the game down, actually find the connection like you're talking about, like, what do you want? I realized that people didn't want what I a lot of people want different things.
Yep. And that's okay too. Like, and it has to be a both and. It's not an either or.
Because they're not pushing the dopamine, giant deer, best land. Like, these things that I love, they're not hitting that button. A lot of them are like, yeah, I got problems, but money's not one. And they want to invest. They want to be around people. They want to learn from you. And then they would go, hey, if you got anything else, let's buy stuff together.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just, anyway, God is good. So on the outro here, seriously, thank you for your time. Thank you for putting
Appreciate
us on.
it.
I'm excited to, Chris and I are trying to figure out how do we do something together. I like the synergy of what we're trying to build. And I obviously respect the synergy of you've been here, born here, bred here, here, the market. And we need to be able to strategically partner with people like you to be successful. So looking forward to what comes from this.
I appreciate it. My goal is, for sure, if anybody wants a real estate agent in Illinois, I would love to represent them selling or buying. Me and my wife are a pretty good team. We specialize in things like the soft stuff, whether it be like, like when somebody dies and like all of the state stuff and the super special handling and the, just the maneuvering through that. My wife's just a blessing when it comes to that, because we've lost 3 out of our 4 parents and been through that several times. So probate and all those things, we're the people to go on that, and then for me is I find, and this is something that I would love to take Whitetail Equity next level, is I don't believe anybody should buy a property across the country without having me at least, if I get a referral from them buying, they're buying over in Ohio or wherever, instead of paying me for a consult, let me get the referral and work with whoever's selling it, no matter what state they're in. Let me make $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on that referral fee, which is just a piece of paper that we're working together.
Yep.
And then you get to you're getting a free, because like if you're selling a piece of property and they had me helping them dissect it and know why it's good, we all win.
Correct.
I can't believe somebody would buy in Wisconsin and not go like, I need Brackett to look at it, even if it's on his online stuff, and then represent. So I don't think people understand that real estate agents like that particular with land and their specialties, like, hey, make sure you're looking at this, make sure you're looking at zoning, make sure you're looking at whatever. That's my ultimate goal with Whitetail Equity, is that. Help people all over the country while you guys are building this stuff. But good luck on the videoing and kicking butt on YouTube, and
let's go look at some dirt in Knox County tomorrow that it will come to the market at some point in time. So if you got a person, yell at us. If you're on our VIPs or you're in our ecosystem, we got some Illinois shenanigans going on. I guess this could technically be like the unofficial announcement. We have talked about it company wide, but we are officially transacting some deals in Illinois. So we're excited about Illinois.
Legacy Acres. This has been the Brackett Show, and
the Legacy Through Land podcast.
Legacy Through Land podcast. Booyah. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.